What if the biggest reason behind the All Blacks' incredible start under Dave Rennie has absolutely nothing to do with tactics, attacking patterns, or defensive systems? What if the real secret is something fans never get to see? Every week, supporters analyze team selections, player performances, and match statistics. Experts debate formations and strategies for hours. But according to former All Blacks fly half Lima Sopoaga, the most important change inside New Zealand rugby is happening far away from the cameras. It is happening inside the dressing room, on the training field, and in the relationships between the players themselves. And if his observations are correct, the rest of the rugby world should be very concerned, because the All Blacks might only be scratching the surface of what they are capable of becoming. When New Zealand Rugby announced that Dave Rennie would replace Scott Robertson as head coach earlier this year, reactions were mixed. Some supporters welcomed a fresh voice, while others questioned whether it was the right decision. Replacing the coach of the All Blacks is never just another coaching appointment. It is one of the most demanding jobs in world sport. Every decision is examined under a microscope. Every team selection becomes front-page news. Every victory is expected, and every defeat is treated like a national disappointment. The pressure is relentless. From the very first day, Dave Rennie knew he wasn't simply coaching a rugby team. He was becoming the leader of one of the greatest sporting institutions in history. The black jersey carries enormous responsibility. Generations of legendary players have worn it with pride, creating standards that seem almost impossible to match. Fans don't simply expect effort, they expect excellence. Anything less is considered failure. Naturally, many experts believed the new coach would need time. Building trust with players, introducing new ideas, and creating a winning culture usually takes months, sometimes even years. But something unexpected has happened. Instead of struggling through a difficult transition, the All Blacks have started their new journey with 3 impressive victories. First came France. It wasn't an easy evening. France pushed New Zealand right until the final whistle in a thrilling contest that had supporters on the edge of their seats. Every point mattered. Every mistake was punished. But when the pressure reached its highest point, the All Blacks refused to panic. They stayed composed, trusted each other, and escaped with a dramatic 34-32 victory. Next came Italy. Many expected New Zealand to win comfortably, but championship teams don't just win, they dominate the games they are supposed to control. The All Blacks did exactly that, producing an energetic performance to secure a convincing 47-17 victory. Their attack looked sharper. Their confidence was growing. More importantly, their body language suggested a team enjoying playing together. Then came perhaps the biggest statement of all. Ireland. One of the toughest opponents in world rugby. A team capable of exposing even the smallest weakness. Yet on this occasion, the All Blacks produced arguably their most complete performance of the tournament, defeating Ireland 40-21. The scoreline wasn't simply impressive, it sent a message. 3 matches. 3 victories. Suddenly, New Zealand found themselves level with the Springboks at the top of the Southern Hemisphere standings, separated only by points difference. For many fans, that was enough evidence to believe the new era had begun successfully. But according to Lima Sopoaga, the most exciting part isn't even the wins. Speaking during an appearance on the DSPN podcast with Martin Devlin, Sopoaga shared an insight that immediately caught attention across the rugby community. He admitted something surprising. The All Blacks are still not where they want to be. They're still improving. They're still learning. They're still far from becoming the finished product. Normally, hearing that might worry supporters. Instead, it excited him. Because despite all those victories, he believes the team's greatest strength has almost nothing to do with rugby tactics. It's connection. That single word may sound simple, but inside elite sport, it changes everything. According to Sopoaga, over the course of the victories against France, Italy, and Ireland, he noticed something becoming stronger every single week. The players weren't simply passing the ball better. They weren't just defending more effectively. They were becoming closer, more united, more connected. Every celebration looked genuine. Every player rushed to support teammates after mistakes. Every tackle was followed by encouragement. Every success was shared. Those small moments rarely appear on the statistics sheet, yet they often decide championships. Great teams don't become great because they have the best athletes. Great teams become great because every individual is willing to sacrifice for everyone else. And that's exactly what Sopoaga believes is happening inside the All Blacks camp. Then he explained why. The reason he believes is Dave Rennie himself. Most coaches are remembered for tactical brilliance. Some are famous for discipline. Others build reputations through intensity. But Dave Rennie brings something different. He understands people. According to Sopoaga, every rugby player has a different reason for stepping onto the field. Some are inspired by family. Some dream of becoming legends. Some play to honor parents who sacrificed everything. Others simply love representing New Zealand. Every player's why is different. Instead of treating everyone the same, Rennie takes time to understand each individual's story. He listens. He communicates. He builds relationships before demanding performances. That may sound ordinary. In reality, it's incredibly powerful. Because when players genuinely trust their coach, something changes. Fear begins to disappear. Confidence grows. Communication becomes natural. Pressure feels lighter. Players stop worrying about protecting themselves. Instead, they begin protecting each other. That's exactly the atmosphere Sopoaga believes is growing inside this squad. Perhaps that's why the team has looked so calm under pressure. Against France, they never gave up. Against Italy, they stayed focused. Against Ireland, they played with freedom. None of those performances were flawless. Mistakes still happened. Opportunities were missed. There are still areas needing improvement. Even Sopoaga openly admits that. But the difference is this team now appears willing to learn together instead of blaming one another. That may become their greatest weapon. Of course, rugby fans already know what challenge comes next. The Springboks. Whenever New Zealand faces South Africa, the entire rugby world watches. This rivalry isn't built on recent history. It's built across generations. World Cups, championships, legendary players, unforgettable battles. Every collision feels personal. Every point matters. Every mistake can decide the outcome. When Martin Devlin asked Lima Sopoaga whether the current All Blacks could defeat the Springboks, his answer came immediately. Absolutely. Not because New Zealand has already reached perfection. Not because South Africa has become weaker. But because he believes momentum is growing inside this squad. And momentum built on trust is incredibly dangerous. History has shown that teams connected by belief often outperform teams filled with individual stars. Talent wins matches. Unity wins tournaments. That's why Sopoaga isn't celebrating tactics. He's celebrating culture. Culture cannot be measured by statistics. It doesn't appear on television graphics. There is no number showing trust. No percentage measuring belief. No chart explaining friendship. Yet those invisible qualities often separate